Hi, Emily Keppel here again with Making Math Make Sense, and we are going to do the intermediate Splat session. If you've never done Splat before, it is a free resource from a guy named Steve Wyborney. Here's his website, stevewyborney.com. Everything he has on here is for free, which is awesome. So he has a lot of other cool stuff besides just Splat, but today we're going to stick with Splat. If you've never done Splat before, I would highly encourage you to go back to the primary Splat video and watch that for a basics on what we're going to do with Splat. Essentially, you're subitizing, you're figuring out what the hole is. Splat goes on, it covers up part of the hole, so you have two parts, and sometimes you have more than two parts, which we're going to work with today. And then you have to use your number sense to figure out what's underneath the Splat. Let's get started. So here's his website that you can come and download the Splats. You can see he has his own about 7-minute video that you can watch on how Splat works that he talks you through. Splat starts with through 10, it goes through 20, multiple Splats, which is what we're going to start with today. And there's 5 downloads, and on each download there's anywhere between 8 to 12 slides that you can use for Splat. Here's another one with multiple Splats where you get to ask what could the total be. So it's getting those kids to think deeper. There's some with 2 color Splats, and like it says here, Splats of different colors have different values. So those are super fun. He does not have these on Google Slides though. These are only in PowerPoint. There are 2 instant ones, so you figure out what the hole is. Here, different variables, so it shows you what the red is. Underneath the reds, you have to figure out what would the yellow be if the hole is 30. Some of these are really tough thinking. Sometimes the Splats, instead of each one being worth 1, those numbers are worth the value that it has on there. Those are super fun too. So 2 different values on my holes and 2 different color Splats. Those really get us thinking algebraically. And then there are some fraction ones. So we're going to hit a few of these right now. Let's go. All right, so this is level 3. All right, so my primary kiddos, my kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade are going to be doing levels 1 and 2. 3rd grade, I would definitely start back at 1 and 2 to get them used to Splat, and then I would come here to level 3. So each Splat of the same color has the same number. You can see it on that starting slide there. So how this works is starts with blank, boom, you get some spots. How many spots are there in all? Again, we want kids subitizing, okay? So that means putting them into groups and not counting one by one. So right here, I see a group of 5. I see another group of 5 and then a group of 4. So 5 and 5 make 10 plus 4 more. My whole is 14. I definitely pause with kids and have them come up to the board and circle their groups. I always let 3, 4, 5 kids go at a time to show me how they came up with the whole. 14. On the first slide of every Google Splat or the PowerPoint Splats, Steve did a really good job of throwing some questions over here on the left where we can read some questions and get the math talk going. Splat, 2 Splats came on. So how many are showing? We have 2 here, I have 2 here, 3, so that's 4 and 3 is 7 plus 1 more is 8. There has to be how many underneath our 2 Splats? Well, what plus 8 equals 14? That's right, 6. 6 plus 8 is 14, but I have 6 between these 2 Splats, and those 2 Splats are the same color, so they have to have the same amount. So 6 divided into 2 groups is 3. Let's see. 3 under that one, and 3 under that one. If I were teaching 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I would definitely come back to my level 3 Splats to start off writing algebraic equations. So an equation for this Splat could be 8 plus 2x, the x being the Splats, equals 14. So that's a 2-step equation solving for 1 variable. Isn't that super fun? Let's go to this one. Splat, figure out how many there are with grouping. The total is 19. Now there's 3 Splats. So this algebraic equation is going to be 4, which is the 4 blue that we see here, plus 3x equals 19. Super awesome stuff that we can be doing, taking it back to what kids do in elementary school, but we can be doing the same thing and stepping it up a level by writing our algebraic equations with this. So awesome. My third, fourth, and fifth graders, if they can write the equations, awesome. Let's encourage it. If they can't, let them use their problem solving skills. Let's go to another fun one, fraction. I love this, and my kids love Splat so much that the day before spring break, they were like, Mrs. Capel, you said we were going to do fraction Splat. So I scratched my plans for the day before spring break, and we played fraction Splat as a class. They absolutely loved it, especially my ELL students. It was pretty cool. All right, so here's what's going to come up. We have 3 holes with the blue. And then each of these circles are 1/4, but I have 4 groups of 1/4, which is another hole. So my hole is 4. I'm going to splat what's showing. I'm going to use a number bond. So I'm going to put 4 in the hole. One part is 2 1/4. What's the other part going to be? And when we're finding a part, hopefully by 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, our students know when we're looking for a part, we're going to subtract. So we're going to do 4 minus 2 1/4. What do we get? We get 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 plus 2 1/4 equals 4 whole. And the whole picture keeps going like this. There are thirds in some of these. There's halves. Here's fourths again, but we have more than just 4/4. This is such an awesome resource. Let's look at fractions with multiple splats. Well, this one isn't fractions with, oh, it is fractions with multiple splats. So what's our whole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 3/3 is 8 whole. Boom, multiple splats on there. So this is going to be 4 plus 3x equals 8. This time our x is going to be whole number or a whole and a part. What do you think? Well, 8 minus the 4 that we see is 4 whole. 4 whole divided by 3 is 1 1/3 or 4/3. Awesome. And here we go. We have a visual that goes with our algebraic thinking. If you have any questions about Splat, feel free to reach out to me, or you can always reach out to Steve. He is on Twitter. He is in the Facebook groups, different math Facebook groups. But he's really good about emailing back if you have a question. I would highly suggest that you subscribe to his email updates because he has a lot of awesome things on his website. Just to point a few out, his ESTI series, his estimation series is fabulous. I've taught for 15 years, and I just went through and read through his top 20 teaching tips of 2020 this winter, and it just reminded me of a lot of different things that sometimes we get away from, sometimes we forget about, but it is a good free download. All right, hope you had fun. Hope you decide to do Splat, whether you're doing it live with your students or you're doing a recording and waiting and pausing and letting them think before you move on. Let us know if you have any questions or comments down in the comment section, and we will continue to bring you great resources in the coming weeks.